Okay. I should probably get down to talking about my thoughts about the game. But again, I don't know where to start. And I don't have like a what do they call them? Bullet points, like, you know, stuff in front of me. So I'm gonna ramble a lot. I'm probably gonna jump from here to there a lot. So I'm gonna go back to something I said in the beginning. Surprisingly, the combat feels pretty good, especially starting out. Compared to other titles, starting off, the combat feels good. Like, you feel fast enough. Dodging behind enemies to an extent feels better than some of the previous Dragon Engine games. You have dodge attacks from the get-go, 2 types. You have this new critical attack mechanic that encourages you to dodge behind enemies to deal more damage, like back attacks doing more damage. Another plus, I felt like the damage that you deal is actually better balanced in this game compared to the previous Dragon Engine games, where you do one hit action and the enemy vanishes into the stratosphere. I spent a good amount of time fighting Mine, the last Richardson fight, Arase. I still have like a few attack upgrades, but I have like most of them, so yeah. I'm trying to list like the pluses before we move on to the negatives, which is probably going to be a lot. But yeah, so the bosses have this aura thing, like the heat aura, and they're trying to make this a mechanic where the bosses have hyper armor, and you have to like kind of chip damage them a little bit until it breaks, and then that's when you like go full force. But the problem with that is even when they don't have this aura, they'll eventually get the hyper armor back, which is annoying. My idea of how to fix that is they can shorten this amount of time where they don't have the aura, but as a result, you can actually like go full in, like fully destroy the enemy, whether it's by juggles, whether it's like just like no hyper armor in general, and then they get back their, you know, aura, and you have to do it again. Going back to the pluses, some of the abilities in this game, only like really a handful, but you have an ability to unlock where you can increase the usage you get out of the weapons on the street. That's a huge plus. I don't know if any other Dragon Engine game did that, but that means a lot to me. I love using the fucking bikes to just end enemies quickly. Taunting is back. You get a lot of heat from it. Like, I got a whole bunch in the Mine fight. And it also enrages enemies, so it's doing its job. In Pirate Yakuza, you could unlock the taunt, and it served absolutely no purpose. Oh yeah, they also, I want to say learned, but it's like doing the bare minimum. In Pirate Yakuza, we know for a fact that they had 2 heat bars, but they removed one of them for I don't know what reason. So you only had 1. In this game, they added a 2nd heat bar. So, credit where it's due, that's nice. But I still think the heat bar design is kind of dog water in this game. Like, it's literally just that 1 heat bar you have, but like another one. Like, either make it the old way where, you know, you have this 1 big bar and then like a lot of smaller ones, or try to come up with new ones. I'm open to that as well. I thought Yakuza 6's orbs were actually pretty good, because it switched things up a little bit, but it also added like a new kind of design to the UI. I liked it. Generally speaking, the combat feels pretty fast, and it's a plus because Dragon style felt slow in Gaiden, so you had a bit of a speed boost here, and you didn't have speed upgrades as well. Like, you start off with your speed. Ryukyu style is not bad. The crowd control on it is maybe a little too good. Like, we could clear a whole room with just like that 1 swing ability, but I'm not really like, you know, complaining about that. I don't mind having that. What else do we have in terms of positives? I can't think of anything at the moment, so I'm gonna move on to the negatives. Hold on, let me load a save, okay? Let me load a save to explain this better. With the stats, you can upgrade your attack and your health, which is a downgrade. You know why? I'll tell you why. In 6 and Kiwami 2, I forget about Gaiden at the moment, but you could upgrade your defense, like innate defense, like without relying on equipment or performance charms or whatever. That's gone. You could also upgrade your heat gain, so that you get heat back faster. That's also gone. You also used to have this evasion stat that you can upgrade. You upgrade to get more out of evasion. But that's the one stat that I'm kind of glad is gone. It kind of feels horrible starting with this really weak dodge and just having to wait a while to really be able to upgrade it. So I think that's fine. But having just attack and health feels a little too simple after, you know, the stuff that we already got. You use money to upgrade your stats, which I don't mind, but I think seeing the level up system would be better. But then you have the abilities, like actual stuff you can do in combat. You use this secondary currency called training points, which you can get by just doing stuff all around the game. Whether it's fighting in the street, the biker stuff, the orphanage stuff, mini games. So you play the game and you get those points. Again, I'm not a big fan of needing 2 currencies to, like, get upgrades. I honestly don't mind the way that 6 and Kiwami 2 handled this, or even Judgment and Lost Judgment. I think those were pretty solid as well. A lot of the abilities here, maybe a lot is a bit of an over-exaggeration, but let me show you. You have this cuisine connoisseur ability that I was talking about. Fucking useless, but that's not the worst part. There's 3 of them in this whole skill tree. I don't need that, okay? This is just a waste of space. There's another thing. Oh god, we haven't talked about the grabs as well. I don't know why, I don't know what reason. If you get grabbed in this game, you have to take it. Like, you have to take that beating. You can't do anything about it. There's no prompt. You don't mash buttons to escape. You have to take damage. Until you get this. Auto counter. And it only counters some enemies. Not all the grabs. I get it to an extent. If you have like a super, like this insane boss that has an inescapable grab, that's fine. But no, there's multiple enemies that just have grabs that happen regardless. And I don't like that. So this is something I also talked about going through the game. But when you grab an enemy, okay? When you grab an enemy at the start of the game and you do heavy attack, what are we used to? You do like a heavy attack, obviously, right? Like you send the enemy flying, probably. In this game, you don't have anything. So you grab an enemy, you do heavy attack, nothing happens. So you have 2 other options. You do another grab or light attack. But the even worse part about this is that the grab chain is a throw not too dissimilar to this. Okay? So you have 2 throws for I don't know what reason. When we were used to, you know, a throw, heavy attack, and then light attack chain. Now you have 2 throws and this light attack chain, which is funny to say because the light attack chain clearly ends with like a mismanaged input. I don't know how to explain that better, but like the last hit in the light attack combo when you're grabbing an enemy used to be the heavy attack. Let me show that better, actually. Like, I'm probably rambling like a madman who does not make sense at all. Look at this. I'm gonna grab an enemy and do triple light attack, okay? See that? 1, 2, and then clearly he started like a whole other animation to punch the enemy one last time. That last animation used to be the grab heavy attack. But it kind of awkwardly got implemented into this light attack chain, which is just like it raises a question mark. But then again, a lot of RGG decisions in the past several games, like they just give me a question mark, like who thought of making this? I get that they want to shake things up, but I don't think this is the way to do it. Oh yeah, something I really don't like about the skill tree as well. See this grab? You unlock this, right? Like you don't do anything with grab and Y initially, right? you can get an upgrade for this. So that takes up 2 spots in this upgrade tree. But that's not all. The normal throw that you have, this one, also has an upgrade. It kind of just feels redundant. Just like, give me one throw that affects enemies and I'm good to go. And then, do we even talk about the heat actions? Like, you have, like, I don't know, 10 of them here. First one you get is this one. Let's actually do it. So this is the heat action. That was perhaps not the best demonstration of it, but they're trying out these new transitional, like, heat actions. And I actually like the idea of that, but they didn't do too much with them here. Like, you have, what, 5 heat actions that work like this, maybe? If we don't count Mine's campaign. So you have those, and then you have some new heat actions, like this one. I actually really like this one, by the way. Let me show it off. That's new, completely new, and it's pretty sick. I actually really like this one. I think that's sick. Okay. But then you unlock the Dragon group heat action. Each style has only one, by the way, which feels really limited. But that was the Ryukyu style group heat action. And this is the Dragon's group heat action. This one is a returning heat action that was cut for no reason. Like, literally no reason. I'm gonna show it off in a bit. It's gonna take a bit, but bear with me. Once again, see, the bicycle now lasts for 6 hits. I like this change. One of the more welcome changes in this game, where you can upgrade just how many times you can use environmental weapons. All right, look at this. Like, chop for no reason. Like, why did that happen? There was one more dude. We could have killed the whole, like, you know, enemy team, and the fight would have been over. And this is like an animation, you know, they have like the full one. They just trimmed down the last bit for who knows why. That used to be a revelation heat action, by the way. Like, you used to get this from Mac, but they just added this to the skill tree now. So yeah, that's something to consider. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the perfect guarding and dodging. So they add the Lost Judgment thing, where you can, like, do that. And at first, it's actually useless, because you don't get any bonus. But halfway through the tree, and this is a downside, by the way, a bit like halfway into the tree, that's when you get a bonus out of it. And that's one problem I have with this upgrade system, because you can't select it from the get-go. You have to, like, go through a certain order in order to get it. Once again, why do this when you established amazing upgrade systems before, where you can select whatever you want, especially if it's going to be very convenient at the beginning? Look at Yakuza 4, look at Judgment, Lost Judgment. Hell, even 6 and Kiwami 2 to a certain extent. So, this ordering of the skill tree, funnily enough, remember the interview we just saw? Outdated, like, design or modern game design or, like, whatever? Yeah, what is this design, bro? Like, you had an amazing system and you added, like, a more archaic one. It's just like, bro, like, put all the abilities, let me pick what I want. It's that simple. Like, sure, maybe you can have some prerequisites for some of the other abilities, and, you know, that's okay. Yakuza 4 also had that. Like, you can pick any ability you want, but some of them had prerequisites. That's okay. But this one is like, oh, you want, for example, fortify found weapon? Well, you have to go through, like, the 60% of the skill tree. It's just dumb, if you ask me. They have the parry you can unlock from Yakuza 6, or Tanimura, technically, Yakuza 4. The equipment system is gone. You can't carry weapons or armor, but the trade-off... Hello, DLC, man. The trade-off is that you can have accessories that have, like, small effects. I actually like this. But ideally, I think having the equipment system as well as this would have been the best case scenario. Hell, if you want to cut Kamiyama, go for it. I didn't even do much weapon crafting in the original anyway. But taking away the equipment system, I don't fuck with. By the way, can we just point out how funny it is that they have this whole, like, phone customization, like a whole phone system. But Mac is nowhere to be seen. We talked about the trainers, I think. They cut Kamaki. Kamaki's gone. You have this Miyazato guy. And I actually like Miyazato as a character. I think Miyazato is pretty solid. I guess you can count Mac as a trainer technically because he introduces you to like these things that give you heat actions. Oh yeah, Yunashiro, thank you. Yeah, Yunashiro as well. I can get Miyazato being a replacement for Yunashiro, but I think taking away Kamaki's... I don't know. Yeah, I actually also like the ring mechanic from Pirate Yakuza. That's why I do like this phone charm system. But yeah, it's unfortunate that the equipment system is gone. Can I just say, by the way, the start menu looks great. I think it looks sick. Like this design with Kiryu and the dragon and the red. Beautiful. Every single boss, like every single major story boss, has only 2 health bars. Technically, not like in the way you think. But when it comes to like the colors, there's only 2. And I don't like that. They're doing the Yakuza 6 thing again, where, yes, they all have 2 colors of health bars, but they have different values. So the more you go in, the more health they actually have. And that's also one of those things where it's a question mark. Like, you guys did colorful health bars in Gaiden, and I think Pirate Yakuza as well, so like what happened here? Also, yes, I think IF7 is gone. That was one way to learn moves, like some neat heat actions like the cigarette one. Okay, I guess let's shift slowly into the story. I think the pacing took a massive dump in the first 3 chapters. You're forced to do this like biker stuff, the biker gal gang thing, and also the dojo to an extent. Before you leave Kamurocho, you have to advance the story of the biker stuff and also advance in the dojo. Which, the dojo was not that bad, I'm gonna say that. But the biker stuff, we sat there like 2 hours at least maybe, or an hour and a half or something like that, before we actually were able to move on with the story. That was just horrible. And it wasn't 1 time, it was 2 times. With the biker stuff, it was 2 times. That was bad. I would much rather they just kind of tell you like, hey, this thing exists. If you want to do it, come back. If you don't, you know, whatever. Having said that, they kind of hit you with the 1-2 because the biker girls and also Miyazato, you know, they're locals to Okinawa, right? So they come back later when the orphanage is destroyed, and they actually offer to help rebuild the orphanage. I thought that was actually pretty heartwarming. I love that. But that doesn't excuse the horrible pacing. So with the pacing, going back to that again, technically they took away the orphanage filler that was at least important to the story. They took that away, and they put in the biker stuff and the Miyazato stuff. Whoops. Filler got replaced with other filler. A lot of the orphanage-related stuff does not happen in the story. The part with Taichi, for example, the part where he falls sick, the wrestling bit for the kids doesn't happen. Izumi's whole story with the dog is a footnote now. It's not completely gone. It's a footnote. We had this happen in the stream. I was just chilling in the orphanage, and one day, Mame just appeared out of thin air. Okay? He appeared, but then they had like a little dialogue with Izumi and Mikio. They were like, oh, we found this dog, or something like that. And then they talk about building a house for the dog. But in the original, it was like a whole thing. Okay, yeah, there we go. What was the last thing I said? Orphanage, about the dog. Yeah, so the orphanage stuff, for better or worse, is yeah. And then I was gonna talk about the sub-stories. Like, where do I even begin with the sub-stories? Again, it's not about the quantity, by the way. It's not about the quantity. It's more so just about keeping the sub-stories that made Yakuza 3 Yakuza 3. And you might be thinking, Leon, stop comparing so much. Like, why do you keep comparing? Why are you so negative? And listen, I'm not trying to be a party pooper, okay? But Kiwami 3 is a remake. What do you think people are gonna do? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think they're just gonna close their eyes, pretend that the original does not exist? That's not gonna happen. I legitimately came across at least one person who's like, man, this game is so fun. People keep comparing. Like, what do you think is gonna happen, bro? It's a remake. It's a fucking remake. Like, it's supposed to recreate a beloved product that people were attached to, or maybe not attached to, like, depending on who you are. But when you remake a game, if you ask me, you're supposed to keep the things that people loved. Yes or no? It's a yes for me, but when you switch things up as much as you do, it's like, question mark. Like, to me, it doesn't even have to be identical, but like, keep the spirit, or try to keep the spirit as much as you can. I get that there might be compromises, I really do. Like, Resident Evil 4 Remake, for example. For the most part, it keeps most things. But a couple of rooms, a couple of stuff are not there. And that's okay, because for the most part, it still does an amazing job. And they didn't delist the original from Steam, so like, they didn't even touch that. So that's a plus for them. Razorbike. They had a super chat just to tell me my mic cut out. Thank you. I kind of blame the fanbase for this. Kiwami 3 didn't need to happen, but everyone kept demanding it anyway. And RGG saw that and just half-assed it out instead of getting Stranger Than Heavens out sooner. Respectfully, I disagree. You know why? Resident Evil 4 Remake did not need to happen. But guess what? It happened. And it turned out to be great. I didn't want Resident Evil 4 Remake, but I fucking loved it. That's not the problem. The problem is not that people wanted the game. The problem is that RGG Studio is RGG Studio. Like, just because you want a remake does not mean you want a half-assed remake. Where was I? Oh yeah, the story. Some of the story changes, once again, I'm gonna talk positively about this because I actually did like some stuff. Some of the story changes are great. Majima having like this farewell scene in chapter 1 to Kiryu, that was not in the original. I actually really like that. Again, the thing with Miyazato and his daughter and like the locals all banding up to help Kiryu rebuild the orphanage. Chef's kiss. That was really sweet. For some reason, you're given even more reason to hate Kanda in this game. And they add like a fight with him and a fight with Hasabe as well. And Kiryu slanders the absolute fuck out of Kanda. That was delicious. Yeah, they have these nice additions that I don't mind at all. But then you have like Hamazaki feeling like a different person. And obviously we all know that we'd rather not have like a sex pest as an actor. But hey, it's just me. Hamazaki does not feel like Hamazaki. Rikia, I actually didn't mind the new face, but the voice does not hit every time. Nakahara, I actually liked. I think he's the one that I like the most. He still looks like this, you know, cheery grandpa, and his voice acting was also pretty solid. I enjoyed that. The soundtrack, some of it is good. I really like the Pure Malice remix. I think it's my favorite. Lyricism by Tears, I'm kind of mixed on. Like, that one transition, I think... You know what I'm talking about. That one transition is so... funny. But, like, genuinely, it does sound good at other times. The street battle themes, I honestly don't care for. What else do we have? I think Fly sounded fine. Soundstorm is okay. Not as good as the OG. The new Toto Hospital track I liked. So yeah. Some good, some not so much. The ending, I mean, you guys saw how baffled I was. Why? Is all I can say, like, why? When I was playing through Dark Ties, like, when I saw what happened in the end, I was like, you son of a bitch, we had a good thing going. We had a good thing going, and then that happens. And then this ending of K3 just builds up off of that. And it's like, man, how was Rikia's death? I actually thought that was fine. Still hit for me. The orphanage stuff is actually pretty fun. Just like doing these different things around the orphanage. Playing like games with the kids. Helping them with homework, that was really fun. The cooking I haven't done too much of. I plan to continue that. The bad boy dragon stuff, legitimately, if we're not talking about the pacing, I think it's fine. It's just fine. Oh my god, look who they got here, bro. No fucking way. We haven't really talked much about Okinawa being chopped. but you can argue that they added this new section at the bottom right. But I would have rather just have the old, like, block as well. I don't think that would have been too much trouble for them. Kamurocho Lullaby is gone. And I know what you're thinking. Leon, you have other karaoke songs. Sure. They're there. But Kamurocho Lullaby is very special to Yakuza 3 because Karaoke made its debut with Kamurocho Lullaby. And just not having there is sad. Kamurocho Rhapsody, with the replacement, I guess, it's fine. Like, it's not bad. But it's a ringtone now. So, like, every time we get a call during the story, I'm like, why? Let's go to the karaoke place just a little bit. I'm gonna talk about a couple of good things and some not so good things. So, you can invite Haruka to sing with you and Majima as well. I like that. Being able to invite Majima, I think is pretty neat. You go in here. Mizuki and Akimoto are gone, as far as I know. Bakamitai. Listen, I have nothing against Bakamitai. But we could have had Kamurocho Lullaby here. You feel me? Again, nothing against tonight either. But we could have had Kamurocho Lullaby. I do not care for this song. Pride from Despair overstayed its welcome as well. This, I'm happy, is back. This new song is pretty damn good. I love this song. Kamurocho Rhapsody is good, but it's just good. Again, you do have a good amount of karaoke songs, but I really wish that the song that kicked off karaoke as a whole, Kamurocho Lullaby, was in here. So, yeah, it's not. Majima has 2 songs. 24 Hours Cinderella. Love to see it. As long as you're happy. You know, nice to have. Haruka has her classic song, I Want to Change Myself, from Yakuza 3. That's great. Oatmeal My Life, you know, the Kiwami edition. Sure, why not? I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But this is not a con, per se. It's just very funny. Like I said before, the best way to handle this, in my opinion, is to actually give you like a filter feature. Like, make me choose the filter that I want. You could argue, but okay, it might interfere with like the artistic direction of the story. My brother, in whatever, what artistic direction is remaining in a product like this? Respectfully. If you're going to revive Mine and do shit like that, might as well just, you know, give us the ability to pick the filter that we want. Like, would that be too much to ask? Oh yes, I haven't talked about this other thing. It was very expected, but Climax Battles or Ultimate Battles is gone. Completely cut. You don't have that at all. And I feel the need to bring up the fact that there already exists a modder on Nexus Mods that added the ability for you to fight all the story bosses. One person. All the story bosses. And that's not where it ends. As far as I understand, and I could be wrong about this, I need to check the page again. You can fight all of Kiryu's bosses as Mine, and the opposite is true. One guy. One guy. Are you gonna tell me a professional studio paid to do all of this could not manage that? Yeah, I don't know about that. So, I talked about the things that they've taken away, but I also talked about the good things that they've done, just in case anyone thinks I'm being unfair. We talked about Dark Ties in the previous, well, in the Dark Ties stream, so I'm not gonna go too much into that. And plus, we most likely are gonna have the podcast, and then I might also do like a solo video. What about Ultimate Survival? Are you talking about Battle for Survival? Oh yes, thank you. In the original 3, you had this fun, like, little mode that you can play in Premium Adventure. I'm gonna assume it's gone here. I think people mentioned it as well. You go to Purgatory, you find the Fortune Teller. You have this, like, I guess, pseudo roguelike thing where you start at the gate of Kamurocho, and you fight your way through the story bosses, going through Kamurocho. Right? You slowly level up, and you upgrade Kiryu until you become strong enough to fight Mine in Theater Square. That's gone. The story character tag mode most likely is gone because this is gone. Yeah, the Coliseum is also a downgrade. Thank you for bringing that up. But you know what else is a downgrade? See, this by itself is not a big deal. Look. When you go to Purgatory, that whole, like, wide area is gone. Again, not a big deal. But, like, you sometimes have these small things pile up. And I say that with multiple Yakuza games. It seems to be a recurring theme. You have these multiple things that pile up to form like this big glob of shit. Unfortunately. Let's talk about the Coliseum. I talked about this like a couple hours ago, but you know, now that we're at the rating or ranting segment, worth talking about. The Coliseum is a downgrade from 3. 3's Coliseum is not amazing by any means, but it had more variety. So let me explain how this one is like. Defeat bronze rank fighter. You can use both styles. And then you go to defeat bronze rank fighter, Dragon and Dojima style only. Defeat bronze rank fighter, Ryukyu style only. And then it repeats in the other grades. So silver, both styles. Dragon and Dojima only, Ryukyu style only. Gold, Dragon and Dojima, Ryukyu, and then both. The fighters do not randomize. They're all the same. The most unique fight probably is the last one, because it's basically a recreation of the triple Lao Kalong fight from IF7. Let me show you. There it is. And it's pretty rough, let me tell you. Oh yeah, let me go back to my point where I said Yakuza 3 OG's Coliseum is not amazing by any means, but it had variety. So you had like... You had an arena that was lit on fire, and anyone that got knocked down took damage. You had this breakable wall arena where if you fall down, you die. You had this street exhibition match kind of deal where you have weapons laying around. And you have some arenas here, or matches, where you do have weapons laying around. But you had like a dedicated thing for it in the OG. You had tag matches where you had to like recruit fighters yourself, become friends with them, and then fight with them. You had the bouncy, like, ridiculous comical boxing glove matches where you send enemies flying. And then you had, like, the tough challenges where you fight enemies like Kumaki, you know, so on and so forth. This one feels a little too simplified. As a remake, this is horrible. But if I'm judging this as a game, a standalone game, pretending that the original doesn't exist, I think it's like a 6 or a 7. Fuck!